Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you a movie review. This time we're going to be talking about the 2003 remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I got it on DVD right here. I've had it for quite a few years. Pretty cool. Anyway, I know this is a little bit out of nowhere, but originally why I started my YouTube channel was, well, to do figure reviews initially. I ended up deleting most of those videos, but I did do some of them. I do still do figure reviews once in a while, but also it's just because I'm a huge horror fan, and I feel like I haven't done nearly enough horror movie reviews or just videos in general related to it. So I feel like someone just going onto my channel wouldn't necessarily know I'm a huge horror fan, which I kind of disapprove of. I kind of want to change that. I know I've done some horror reviews, but like ones like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, or just random other horror movies. I just want to kind of talk more about that on my channel, and I kind of got the more of the hype and into more of the mood to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because I just recently rewatched the remake, well, the 2003 remake I'm going to be talking about right here in a minute, and also Texas Chainsaw, which came out like a few years ago or so, and I'll probably go back and review some of the older ones at some point too, and I'll try to review more horror movies as I go along, but like I do own all Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I've seen all the Friday the 13th movies, but I need to buy more of them. I've seen all Halloween movies as well, and other horror movies here and there that aren't necessarily a huge franchise too. Okay, but I kind of wanted to do a video about the 2003 remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre first out of this franchise, because I honestly think this movie deserves a little more credit. It's not perfect. There are some, things about it, of course, are cliches or, stereotypes. But I think there's a lot to like about this movie, to be honest. I just rewatched it with my girlfriend, and, we both liked it. We both enjoyed it. I've seen it quite a few times now, but she's seen it for the first time. She seemed to like it for the most part. And I feel like this is actually the overall best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I've seen. Some people may kill me over that, but I honestly think it's the most well-made. I think it looks the best production-wise. It has a really nice, tone and feel to it. The actors are actually pretty good, I think. It's not really too scary. It's hard for me to get scared with horror movies. Now, I've just seen so much, I'm a little bit numb to it, or I just enjoy it, so it doesn't really affect me, which can be the case with some people. It's not like I have the volume really low when I watch it in here either. I have the volume, so they can hear the chainsaw out in the other room. But, I still do enjoy it nonetheless. And like I said, it's not really scary, but I do think it does do a good job of suspense in certain parts, and there are jump scares in it as well, but you know how it is. But this there's not too much to explain about the plot of this movie. I can just read it right off the back here. A group of friends take a detour while traveling through the back roads of Texas and encounter a chainsaw wielding maniac. That's kind of it. So like I said, they're basically just like I said, on a road trip. They're going to, I think it was a Leonard Skinner concert. They're trying to get there, and then of course they pick up a hitchhiker, and of course this is a bit of a different play on what the original did. Of course with the original it had the male hitchhiker, and it turned out to be a part of the whole family and stuff like that. But with this, it's a little bit different. It's a girl who had actually sort of escaped from the Hewitts, as they're called in this. Sometimes they're called the Hewitts, sometimes they're called the Sawyers. It's been different with a few different movies, but it was the Hewitts in this one and the prequel they did, which I will talk about at some point. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. And then they're pretty much known as the Sawyers in every other movie besides this one, the prequel to it, I think. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. But she had actually escaped from the Hewitts somehow. They pick her up, but she but they don't really know what's going on yet, so they keep driving in the direction she was trying to get away from, and then she starts panicking, and she ends up pulling a gun out of her vagina basically, and killing herself. And of course they call the sheriff. The sheriff ends up being Hoyt, or Sheriff Hoyt, or more so Charlie Hewitt Jr. Really, they call the rest of the family sort of ends up calling him Junior, or at least the other lady and stuff like that. So there's really no authority around. It's a pretty quiet town, and it seems like a lot of the other town members probably do know about the family, and some of them are in with them, some of them tolerate them and stuff like that. And really it just ends up them being picked off one by one, really, in various ways. Jessica Biel's in this one too, I guess I should mention that. She's our main character, Erin. We have Eric Belfer playing her boyfriend, Kemper. Some of you probably know that actor from Haven. I haven't watched that show myself, but I've seen previews for it and stuff. I actually kind of liked him in this movie, but he gets killed off pretty early. And it was probably one of my favorite kills of the movie, really. We see Leatherface come from behind with a sledgehammer, and slam the door shut when he drags him in and stuff. It was a pretty brutal hit to the head and stuff, so I like that. There's not much more to say about the characters, though, really. There was a little bit of a sad thing, because, he ended up having a ring on him, so he's planning to propose to her and stuff, but, horror movies do that. The acting overall wasn't actually that bad, I don't think. I think it was pretty decent all around, especially compared to your typical slasher movie. It wasn't great or anything, but watching this back-to-back with Texas Chainsaw, the acting was definitely better in this one, I feel like. A highlight of the cast was for sure Ermey. I mean, maybe mispronouncing his name. You guys know I'm bad with names. But he, like I said, I mentioned his character earlier, Charlie, or, Hewitt Jr., Sheriff Hoyt. He's definitely the highlight acting-wise of the movie. He definitely pulls off, the whole drill sergeant, type of tone well. He's really intense, he's creepy, he's weird. So he's definitely he actually gets more screen time than Leatherface in the movie, which, it might be a bad thing, but he's one of the more entertaining, guys in the movie for sure, so it's cool. Well, there's not really much more to talk about acting-wise. Jessica Biel, she does okay, as our, final girl and stuff. Like I said, Eric Belfer's, fine while he's in it, and her other friends, they're okay too. Then you had Jonathan Tucker as Morgan. Not sure what else Jonathan Tucker has done. I'm not overly familiar with him. Let's see. He's done other movies, and he has a ton of TV roles too. So he is okay, I guess. He is trying to be the more logical one, saying we should just leave the body. The sheriff is creeping me out. He actually tried to fight back against him, which was a little bit interesting. We got a little bit too emotional. And the movie kind of plays out like you expect. Eventually all her friends get killed, and she gets taken in a little bit, but then she sort of gets away. Leatherface ends up chasing after her. Then there's this baby, that these people, who aren't the Hewitts, but like I said, they kind of tolerate them. They're sort of in cahoots with them, really. The lady tells them they don't have a phone when they do, and it turns out that the baby they have is actually the girl who committed suicide at the beginning's baby. So Erin ends up trying to escape with her, and there is of course we get our sequence of her being chased by Leatherface towards the end of the movie, which is cool. I like some of the shots in the woods and stuff. Although like usual, Leatherface could have caught her. I mean, come on. There's like a shot where he's just he's jumping over these branches, wielding a chainsaw and stuff, and he's like just a few feet from her. He's catching up to her. Then we see Erin come out of the woods, and she's like 20 feet away from him all of a sudden. That part, there's certain just cuts like that, but again, we know it's not gonna, that's just the way horror movies work, I guess. And then eventually leads to her deciding to go into a meat factory for some reason, which of course, if you've seen any Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, you probably know that they butcher and stuff, and sometimes they work at places like that. You know, it's just like a commercial. I forget. I don't know if it's for like an insurance or a car thing or something, but there's this commercial where it really plays on like the stereotypes in horror movies, and they're like, hey, "We have to get to the cemetery. Run to the cemetery, or hide behind these chainsaws." Yeah, so it's kind of like a situation like that. But so we get Erin. You know, she's hiding in the lockers. Leatherface is trying to find her. You know, he opens one of them. We think that's the one she's in. Turns out to be a pig. And she actually ends up cutting his arm off with a cleaver. And eventually she's able to get the baby on the way back to trying to escape. She actually ends up running over and, you know, finally killing Sheriff Hoyt. She backs over and runs over him repeatedly, which is, you know, in a way satisfying to see, even though I did, you know, like him in the movie. He's probably the character I like the most besides Leatherface himself. And, you know, like I said, it wasn't too scary, but my girlfriend did jump at the part right at the end where she's driving down the road with a baby, and then Leatherface all of a sudden appears on the road and, you know, slashes at the side of the truck with his chainsaw. That surprised her. I always kind of liked that part. You know, it's kind of similar to, you know, the original movie, really. You know, where, you know, she finally gets away in the back of this guy's truck, and, you know, she starts laughing and stuff. But Erin doesn't start laughing, but it's kind of the same general idea there. And then, you know, there's also this sort of found footage element in it. You know, we see like a little found footage clip at the beginning of the movie, you know, like taking place after the crimes here with Erin and her friends. You know, just going through the Hewitt residence into the boiler room and stuff. And at the end we get the second part to it, and, you know, of course the cops end up being, you know, killed by Leatherface, who jumps them. And then, you know, there's this documentary voice that says, "The case remains open," or something like that. And some people complain about this because, oh, they're trying to make us think it was a real thing. What do they think we are, dumbasses? You know, they're just trying to play it into the movie. You know, they aren't trying to trick us into thinking it was, you know, legitimately a step-by-step real story. You know, of course, Leatherface and, you know, things like this are based, you know, not really based, but, you know, like inspired by real things. You know, like there is actually cannibalism. You know, there is, you know, killers like this. You know, there's, you know, like a serial killer named Ed Gein, I think, that, you know, actually took the skins of people's faces and such. But, you know, it was just playing it for the movie, and I think it kind of worked well. You know, it worked for what it was, I guess. You know, just don't take it so damn seriously. But yeah, so overall I do like this one. You know, I thought the acting was decent, especially compared to a lot of the other ones. You know, Leatherface, I actually thought he looked pretty cool. I like his like sort of his default or main mask in the movie. I thought actually it's one of the coolest. I think it was the coolest looking one we've had in a movie for him. You know, and the kills, you know, I guess there could have been better kills in the movie, but I did like I mentioned earlier, the sledgehammer one to Erin's boyfriend. That one was good. And then, you know, there are a couple other ones that sort of take place off screen. You know, like Pepper, who is you know, the pickup you know, from one of the boyfriend's other friends. You know, she ends up being killed off screen, but he sort of gives like this eerie shot of Leatherface wearing Erin's boyfriend's face and, you know, looking at her. That shot was kind of cool. You know, so some of it takes place off screen, so I guess there come in better kills, but, you know, it wasn't a big deal. Even though maybe it kind of is, but, you know, I did like how they sort of used suspense a little bit more than blood and gore. But I feel like there probably could have been a little bit more violence always seen directly in this movie, maybe. But yeah, so overall I actually do like this one. You know, I consider it to be the most well-made and all-around good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, actually. I consider it to be better than the original. Definitely better than any of the sequels to the original. And yeah, I'll talk to you more about Texas Chainsaw in particular in another video, but yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this movie, you know? Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. You know, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Leatherface did it as usual. Next couple videos will probably be, I'll be reviewing Texas Chainsaw, then I'll also be doing a video about the TV series Slasher. I should be finishing that soon. I'll be reviewing season 1 of that. And, you know, Sunday's approaching again, so, you know, Game of Thrones, Penny Dreadful, the usual stuff. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Catch you guys next time, and peace.